In this case, I'm going to leave it for the instance, but I'm going to select, instead of static mode, if I select dynamic mode and then click apply down here, it's going to pick up on the skin CSS. And when I refresh down here, refresh the editor, you should see that the styles that are now linked to the skin CSS. So now you can work in actual preview mode in your text editor in the actual styles that you've designed.
Why is that the default?
FCK editor. There's another item in here that's actually important, and for some reason, with my local install here, it's not working, but I do want to show it to you because it does work, trust me. If I go back into custom editor options, the point I'm getting to is there's a styles drop down here, and I've seen a lot of users when they go to apply certain styling to content, instead of like actually putting in a custom style in the HTML, they'll just come in here and they'll go, give me text color blue or red or something. And that's a problem because when you're doing a lot of editing from page to page, you're not going to get things consistent in terms of style and look and feel unless you remember every last manual setting that you applied. So you want to use the CSS styles. So in order to do that, we can get those to display here in the drop down. Okay? So you can highlight something, you just select the appropriate style from the drop down, right? So the way to do that, the way to get this to work, is to go again to the custom editor options, and then you go to the list of available styles for the editor. And you can create a custom XML file, and you can just upload it here and select it, and then click apply down here. And then when you refresh the editor and go back to the style drop down, you should see these. For some reason my local instance is not showing me that. I can't figure out why, but it's not. So you should be seeing like this H1, which is the orange, the normal blues, and the links and everything else in here. So that's a good idea to use that function, especially when you're developing a site or you created a site for administrators that don't have a lot of experience coding with custom CSS or applying custom CSS to HTML.
Is there an example, like XML file,
Yep.
like somewhere on the web so that?
Sure. Let me show you an example. Let me just hide a couple things here. Oh, I know where I'm going. Hang on here. Yeah. I know where I want to go. Okay. Open. There. I'll just open it with Notepad. So here's what it looks like. If you look in the skin CSS, we'll have a CSS or a style called link, a style called red link, normal, normal bold, normal blue, normal bold blue. We'll have all these styles already included in the skin CSS with all the custom attributes we want for content on the site. So all we're doing at that point is, with the custom XML here, we're just calling those styles out to be populated within the text editor. So you can call as many styles as you have, or as you want, that you've already included in your skin CSS, and call them here via the simple XML file, and they'll get displayed in that drop-down within the editor.
So what we're calling is a CSS file.
Sure. Right. You're calling CSS styles from the skin CSS file, okay, using the XML. Sure. Okay, so let me...
So once you've loaded that, can you disable it, or need a way to disable them?
Yeah, if you just go back into custom editor options and go in your list of available styles, just click this to URL and click apply, and it's all done. Then it won't look for that static file you just uploaded and applied there.
No, I mean, is there a way so that the users can't even access font size and color?
I believe, well, I know if you go into custom editor options here, you can disable and enable toolbars based on roles here. I'm not sure how you would go about disabling just certain functions on a toolbar. You can probably do that through the FCK editor settings, maybe the source settings. I don't know the way to do that off the top of my head. Someone else, Will might know. Will?
I think there's a config file you can change.
Config file? There you go. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was what I wanted to show you about the text editor, because that's kind of a big deal, especially again for clients that don't have any experience working with CSS styles in HTML. They can just, you give them a list of styles that they can choose and select from. and let them go on down the road. The only caveat actually to doing that is, if we look at the HTML here, you can see that I've got the H1s applied up here. That's pretty easy to apply to code. We've got a couple of other CSS styles down here. Actually, let me go grab this block right here that has a couple of other custom styles. We'll paste it in here and go source and come back. And then you can see a class equals red link down here. This is a custom class from the skin CSS. So you're just calling it here in the code. So, the one caveat to applying for clients to apply things via the drop down here, if like they select a block of copy here and use this. The only way to get rid of that style, they can't just go up and select another style, because the SDK editor will add that next style to the same CSS string. So you should have to go back to the source code and remove the refs to the CSS if you want to change it.
Tracy,
Yeah.
you clear your cache, I think it's going on.
Really? Okay. Cool. So try your cache. Yeah. Okay.
Isn't it true? I think you can select the thing that you just style, the text you just style, and choose the same style again, and it'll remove it.
Really?
I know my customers do that.
I'd like to test that theory. I'll just use this, and then I'll use this again, is what you're saying.
Right.
See what it does. It did.
Do I get a T-shirt?
That's a good tip. Good tip. That's why I love these conferences. I learn something every day. Okay. Now I'm going to add an announcements module here. Call it. That's good in the right thing. Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to add a couple of articles real quick. And again, how many people use the announcements module? I think it's one of the most widely used modules, because when people find out what it does and the flexibility they have, it's like a really useful tool because of a number of things. That it takes advantage of one of my favorite features, and that is applying publish and end dates to content, to modules or pages. So that's just way cool. Of course, it works well for promotions too. So if you've got a promotion starting in next Friday, and you want to put the content up there now, and have the promotion start displaying next Friday, you can certainly do that. And you can't do that just with the announcements module. Other modules you can do that with too. But the definition of the start and end dates is kind of big deal for me anyway. So let's add a new announcement here to the announcement module. Paste this down here. Yes. Give me this. Title. And we're going to put a little icon next to this little announcement, which is going to be a file on our site. And this is going to be newspaper icon 3. And for right now, we're not going to link. Actually, I can link this one. I've got a page created for this one already, which is a good point I want to make. When you work with the announcements module, it's almost a good idea to think of working backwards when linking to your content, because if you don't have a page built that you want to link the announcement to, you can't link it. And so you create your announcement, and you can't link it because the page isn't created. You update this, go back out, create your page, come back to the announcement, have to do it all over again and link it again. So you might as well just create your end articles first. That's what we typically do. We create them all first, and then when we go into create the announcement, we have them all here ready to link to. Just saves time. So. And then, of course, you can, you've got a couple of options here. You can track the number of times the link is clicked, which is a default. You can, track it. You can log the user date and time for every link click, or even open a link in a new browser window, which is pretty cool too. And then here's your publish and expiry dates. You have a print calendar that pops up here when you want to, or for setting both of these, which is nice. Okay. And then the view order, which is another cool thing. So let me just click update here, and let me create just the second one real quick. Where did my announcement go?
You said it's not visible till like tomorrow.
You guys are good.
Feature.
Full. There we go. Let's go back in that sucker. I'll tell you what. We'll just get rid of these altogether.